Hello everybody and welcome to Hobbyist Fish Keeper. I am Will, and if you've landed on this video then you've either got an issue with brown algae or Diatom algae as it is known, or you're just tuning in for another video on this fluval Evo series. First of all, the first thing I should say, if you do have a Diatom bloom or a brown algae bloom, is don't panic. This means that your new little nano reef or new reef is able to support life, and as we can see, the brown coating is spreading throughout my little nano reef here, covering the sand and the rocks. It's even on the outtake of the little water duckbill there, and it's basically made up of millions and millions of single-celled organisms called diatoms. Now this is completely normal and is part of the cycling process. So like I say, don't panic. What you are essentially trying to do is recreate the ocean in a little glass box. And these diatom blooms happen in nature as well. So please take this as a little win rather than an issue that you've got to deal with. It just means that you're doing everything correctly and your reef is doing exactly what it needs to do in the cycling process. So I suppose if you've landed on this video as well and you've got an established reef, then basically what I can gather from that would be is that you've added something new, either some new live rock, or you may have changed the lighting on it, or the duration of the lighting that's on your tank, or you've even maybe have changed the location of your tank in your room, maybe nearer to some natural light, near a window, that kind of thing. All of them can trigger a bloom, so in an established tank. But like I say, don't panic. Obviously, it doesn't look the greatest at all, and it can literally cover everything from your substrate to your glass, to your rock, to your inlets, to your outlets, and even corals in some situations. And this could be deadly for certain soft corals. It could literally kill them off. It would starve them of light and oxygen and kill them off. It doesn't look like it's covering my glass at the moment, but that's literally just because I give the glass a good clean. There was kind of a cloudy film across the glass. Just done that for the purposes of this video. Now, diatoms, they thrive on silicates or silica, as they are basically made up of this. So the cell walls of the diatoms are made up of transparent silicas. So obviously they need to eat the silicates to replenish those cell walls. So where would the diatoms be getting the silica from? Well, first of all, it could be coming from the water that you use. So if you're using unfiltered tap water, then this will be full of trace elements that your local water authority would add to the water to make it stay fresh, to make it pure. But these are all trace elements of silicas that these diatoms will thrive on. So obviously RO water is highly recommended. If you have been watching this little series of the Evo situation that I've got, I did start off with a video of everything that I think you need to start a nano reef, and in that video I did state that I would be using tap water, and I would be dechlorinating it and just trying to run it off that tap water. Basically because I've got a couple of friends that use just tap water, but they do have significantly bigger tanks and bigger filtration systems than what I have. So I thought I'd try and give it a go in the nano reef. Now that is not what I've done. After getting quite a bit of a barrage of abuse in the comments, I decided to literally go to my local fish shop and buy a couple of big jerry cans of RO water. So I am using pure RO water in there, so it has been filtered and all of those nasties should be out of that water. So I am definitely not getting it from the water. Where else can silicas come from? Well, they could come from in on the sand or substrate that you're using. If, for example, you're using some kind of pool sand or play sand or construction sand. These are completely different sands to coral sands that you do get at your local fish shop, and they are full of silicates. So I would basically say if you are using any kind of sand like that, you would be very hard pushed to get rid completely of the diatoms. I think that you would always have some form of diatom bloom in there, and it would be a lot of maintenance for you. So if that is the case, then unfortunately I would say you would have to start again on that one. This is just my opinion, so again, please don't abuse me in the comments, but please do leave comments if you've got anything nice to say. Again, just my opinion. And where else could you get the silicates from? Well, yeah, before buying your salt mix, check the ingredients, if you will, on the box. Some salt mixes do have a higher concentrate of silicates in it. Obviously, the higher concentrate, then the more food you are providing to the diatoms for them to survive. Obviously, with any algae, overstocking and overfeeding could be a contributing factor to your bloom. So obviously try to resist that little voice in the back of your head every time you go to your local fish shop that says, just one more fish, everything will be fine. Well, unfortunately, that one more fish could give you a massive headache. Obviously, one more fish leads to putting more food into your tank and more waste into the tank. And then basically it would feed the blooms again, so there's a lot more for the blooms to feed on there. So try to resist. My response to this algae bloom is I'm going to ride it out, but I'm also going to introduce a cleanup crew. As you can see, I've only got the 2 clownfish in this tank, and obviously I added the clownfish because there was no point in adding a cleanup crew because there was nothing to clean up. But I've had these clownfish in here now for around about 2 to 3 weeks, and now I've got this little bloom, which did practically appear overnight, if I'm honest. I saw a couple of brown dots on the rocks one day, and then the next day it was everywhere. So it is very fast at growing throughout your tank. So a cleanup crew will be introduced, and I will be doing another video on the cleanup crew to try and even out the odds between myself and this unsightly little brown menace. What else will I be doing? Go into weekly water changes as opposed to bi-weekly. I'll be getting a little toothbrush out there and trying to brush some of the actual diatoms into the water column, making the water change more effective by physically removing those diatoms out of the water, plus any silicates or phosphates and nitrates that are dissolved in the water that the diatoms feed on. And that's about it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, please don't panic. It's perfectly natural for this to happen, and I'm sure if you do go to your local fish shop, you will see some of this brown algae in your local fish shop. Even the cleanest of local fish shops still have some form of diatoms in their tank that they miss, and unfortunately it happens. So don't panic. Once again, thanks for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. All of my tanks set up, they'll all have affiliate links in the description below, so please check them out. If you do click on them and purchase anything, I do make about 20p. Every little helps. All goes towards fish food and buying things for the channel. So yeah, brown algae in a nutshell. Don't panic. Persevere. Get through it. Oh, I did fail to mention, you could get rid of it basically by doing the old blanket test and putting a blanket over your tank for a couple of days, completely blocking it out of any natural light and turn your lights off. That should make it recede quite quickly, but that's not to say that when you remove the blanket it doesn't come back again. That's me on the diatoms. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers!